Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today, well, I have the Warren County Fire and Rescue team here. It looks like every single fireman we have. This is Andy Hoffman. He's kind of the team leader of this group. And here recently they went to Indianapolis, Indiana to call it a contest. How's that? A challenge. Yeah. Kind of testing firefighters from all around the country. Andy, why don't you tell us a little bit about what this challenge was about and what we gained from it?
So the county's making a big effort right now to encourage health and wellness within the fire department. So we came up with the idea of putting together a team to compete. And there's a league called the Firefighter Challenge League, where fire departments from all over the world are able to come together and compete, utilizing the type of things that we do on the job. So this year we went to Indianapolis, Indiana, and competed there. And it's just the start of the season, so we got more competitions to come.
Sure. Why don't you introduce your crew here?
This is Jane Tippany, Jake Walker, and Joseph Gallivan.
And I see you just got, you got firefighter medic on yours.
Yeah,
you got fire medic. You're just an old firefighter.
Yeah, I
know. You're the guy that carries the fat guys like me out of the burning.
I know.
I know how that works. All right, go on here. Tell us a little bit more about what all the challenge included.
Yeah, so it includes a stair climb, a hose hoist, all motions that we would do potentially on a fire, a dummy drag, and all that's timed. So each person starts at the bottom of the steps, runs to the top, carrying a 40-pound hose load in full gear on air. And then at the end of it, whoever gets the best times gets the gold at the end of the season potentially.
Well, so how did you do?
We did well.
Yeah, I think we did pretty well. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool to meet some different people. We met some awesome people. There was somebody there from Argentina. There was a team there from Alaska. As far as the competition goes, we did pretty well. A lot of us ended up going to the finals of the competition. Didn't bring home any medals this time.
Right. Well,
We're looking to hopefully do that in August. We have another competition.
Well, now you know what to expect.
We do.
For all four of us, this was our first time going out and competing, and with the support of the county, we were able to go and kind of represent and kind of get Warren County's name out there.
Sure.
So this was our first time going out there, and I think we're looking forward to.
So you know what kind of training you have to do now for the next one?
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely
carry 50 pounds up the steps. So 40 seems light.
Yeah, we were in training. We were practicing dragging 200-pound dummies at the station, whereas in the competition they're 175 pounds, and it was still.
That's good.
It was still a lot of work.
You always need to go up.
Yeah.
To come back. I was watching the YouTube video, and these guys tell me if this was fake or not. The hose got loose on them, and they had to crawl out on the hose to kind of get a hold of. Is that how you do that? It was going like this. And
yeah.
And this thing's shooting water a mile long, and a guy just crawls out over top of it and grabbed hold of it.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty slick. I'd have never thought that. I'm just like a garden hose. You run out and grab it.
Yeah, it's a little heavier than a garden hose. So if it smacks you in the face, that'll hurt. It'll take out some teeth. So you got to be careful with this stuff. Yeah.
So how long have you been at the fire department?
I've been here working for this county for about a year and a half.
Okay.
A little over a year and a half, and then I was a volunteer in Loudoun County.
Okay, I was just going to ask you, what's your background? I'm going to get a little background from everyone here, so you all think about the lies you're going to tell me. So what made you get into firefighting?
I was just driving around where I lived in Sterling at the time, and I just thought about why not just go volunteer, just a way to help your community. And I volunteered for my first time. The first time I ran a call and we put on those sirens, I knew I wanted to do it. Yep, absolutely, yep. So I spent a year in Loudoun County at Sterling Cascades Fire Department, and moved down here. Wanted to get away from the city, and found this county and started working here.
Yeah. So, how about you?
I started volunteering while I was still in high school as a 14-year-old junior member in Fauquier County, which is where I'm from, and that's where I still live currently. At the same time, I did a 10-year career in the Virginia Army National Guard. I separated just this past year off of active duty orders with the National Guard and transitioned right over here to Warren County this past summer.
So you say EMT. What's the difference between an EMT and a medic?
So an EMT, there are different levels of EMT.
Okay.
The lowest level is the EMTB, which is a basic. That is the certification that all three of us
blood
carry.
pressure, right?
You start to get into medications. We can do some interventions and give medications and start to start life-saving care procedures,
Sure.
and then hopefully we've got a medic that's coming right in behind us
Oh.
to get into some of the more advanced techniques, which I'll let Joe talk about.
Well, Joe, so how did you get into this?
So I started in Dayton, Ohio. I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, and I always wanted to be a firefighter, so I took some classes there. Ended up getting multiple different jobs there, and that was about 3 years ago now. And then about half a year ago, I moved down here to Warren County.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
in love
so
it.
you're the one step above EMT then.
Yeah, he's making it sound like he doesn't do very much. But
Yeah,
really,
well, I know they
these
do a
guys
lot.
do the important things, so I can just do like the little icing on the cake, the little
Right,
extra bit. But one of the main differences is I can give a couple more medications. I can do some like extra electrical therapy and read EKGs, see if somebody's having a heart attack.
Can you give them the
potentially.
paddles?
Yep, yeah.
Yeah.
Shock
You know,
'em.
you see that on television. My wife had that cardio version, done.
Yeah.
And they, the old, you hear it, give me 200 joules, and that's what they do. And then that didn't work. They said, 360. And
Yep.
it lifts you off the table. And I was shocked. I mean, well, not literally, she was shocked. But, you see this stuff on TV and you want to know how realistic it really is. So is it like TV? I mean, you guys are like TV firemen, or are you guys like...
We're a little better than TV firemen. So it really depends on the show. Like Chicago Fire is not very realistic, but there's some out there that are a little bit better.
I
So,
heard that new
depends on
show,
the
The Pit, is supposed to be the most realistic television emergency room stuff. And I've watched all those episodes, and it's very good, very realistic.
I haven't watched that one yet.
You should watch it. It's really good.
Pretty good.
So, Andy, you're next. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Started volunteering about 8 years ago, and I've been career for 3 years
Okay.
now. Yeah, I'm kind of the old man of the crew.
I know,
I just turned 40.
You go by your hair.
So I was kind of a late bloomer, unlike these guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been best job in the world.
Yeah.
For
So you
sure.
like it?
Love
Gonna
it.
Stay on with it?
Absolutely.
So how's the county treating you? We're going to let you vent on now this week. But, we're trying to do more and more with our firefighters. The volunteers, again, it's all about volunteering. But over the years, it's really declined. The requirements have gone way up. I know how much training you have to do to be regular fire, but the volunteers, like hundreds of hours of training
Indeed.
for no pay. I mean, because you really love it, and the time it takes to do it. Didn't used to be just show up. Oh yeah, put some wax on that fire truck, and you were a volunteer.
Yeah.
And then when all of a sudden we got a fire, you just showed up, and whatever you could do. Those days are kind of gone.
They are.
And yeah, so now you see nice guys that are athletic and built, and used to be guys like me.
Yeah. And like we've all stated, all four of us started as volunteers.
Right.
And I think some of us still do volunteer at our home stations as well.
I was going to say we could still
So-
volunteer at the fire department, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I believe almost all of the stations in Warren County are still accepting volunteers.
Right.
So we absolutely encourage people to get involved with your local fire department if that's something you're interested in. We'd love to have anybody who wants to
There's
help
a lot
out.
more jobs than just fighting fire at the fire department that
There is.
volunteers can do. There's always fundraising and
Right.
events,
Yep.
and just the camaraderie that you have. People showing up and help doing little things that just kind of get put aside without never enough time, is there?
That's probably the hardest thing is people are juggling their lives, their families, work, and things like that. So
Yeah. Are you guys still working like 24-hour shifts?
Yes.
Is that how it works?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It just seems like some days you work 24 hours, don't you?
Yeah,
Oh,
we work.
yeah.
We work. So we work 24 on, 24 off for 3 shifts, and then 4 days off, and then
Yeah.
it starts the cycle back
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah. So you try to get a little shut eye when you're
Right.
sitting there. Yeah. You got to sleep when you can. I've been in those situations before. It's amazing. People say, "Well, I can't sleep in the daytime. I can't." Trust me, you can sleep. Right?
If you're pushed
You can
hard
s-
enough,
you
you
can
can take
sleep in
that.
full gear in the fire truck. I mean, I'm sure you can. Anything else you want to bring up about your career or this challenge?
Not particularly about me. I'm just like really grateful for the department supporting us in
Yeah.
this so far. Like Andy said, there's been a recent push to for fitness in the fire service. 'cause,
Sure.
in our careers, there's a much higher risk of cancer, much higher risk of heart disease, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So getting the fitness in is really important. So we're grateful for our department.
We were
supporting us
talking
in
just
that.
the other day about things we used to see on television. Doctors used to hold the cigarette and was telling about, if you really want a really good, cool cigarette, try menthol, and there are doctors doing it. And nowadays, I can remember we went into when my daughter, 40 years ago, was born, we were in the room, getting ready to go into the room, and the cigarette smoke was so thick that you couldn't even, so those things have changed. I mean,
drastically.
at fire department, now a lot of places I know in the city, years ago I had some work down there and they were saying, well, if you're a smoker, don't even apply. I mean, like I know the county, Fairfax County Sheriff years ago, they give them 2 years to quit, and after that they wouldn't even hire anybody that smoked. So I don't know if that's still seeing it today, but you're seeing that in a lot of communities because it's not so much the immediate risk, it's that long-term risk. It's the medical retirement. It's training you for 20 years and then they have to medically retire you when you still have a lot of good years left.
Right.
And that's part of the effort as well. I mean, we're going through full workup annual physicals now, funded by the department. We have personal trainer that's coming in and working with everybody now on a weekly basis. So they're really making efforts to try to keep us healthier over the long term, even after our careers are done.
Yeah. Grandmaster Kwan is down at your place. Did you see that little training the first responders and things? He said he's coming down to Company 1 here a couple of days a month, giving you free martial arts. So you got to check that out.
Yeah,
starting.
sounds cool.
I think he's starting here, because he's retired, but
Gotcha.
he's one of those guys, who can just look at you and hurt you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that health and wellness really, it encompasses a lot more than just working out or being physically fit. The sleep involved is involved with that. So we, there's been efforts to get better sleeping conditions, better beds, better mattresses, things like that. Everybody recently just got a second set of fire gear, our PPE that we wear when we go into a house fire. It gets covered in carcinogens and cancers and things like that. And before, we would have to wash that set of gear and then continue to wear it. Now we have 2 sets of gear, so when one gets dirty, we can wash it at the stations, wear our second set of gear, and that way we're not having to wear that dirty gear and have that transfer.
That stuff takes a long time to dry, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like wearing a asphalt roadway or something on you. It's something. I don't know how you look so little. I'm thinking you look so little. Of course, now when you
That's what we're working on.
when you get that gear on, you look, like Rambo or somebody. Well, I do. I want to just appreciate, give you our appreciation to the Warren County Fire Department and especially you guys and representing us there in Indianapolis. And we hope you do a little better next time, which I'm sure you will.
Always practicing and always training.
Yeah, and I think that's what the whole underlying thing is. We hope we never need a fire, but when we do, or an EMT or a medic, but when we do, I know that you guys run. We've used you several times in our family over the years, and I know that when I dial that 911, I know that you'll be there. In just a matter of moments, you're right there and save lives. And so that's what you train for. That's what you're working for. And I know the community supports you 100%, and we do too here at the Royal Examiner. Really appreciate it. All right, thanks again, guys.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for the time.
Appreciate it.